I'm ready. Horns up. My horns are up.
Today was a great day for the Devils. And ATTIKA 7 was out.
All right, we have Evan Seinfeld from ATTIKA 7 on the phone. Where are you calling today from, man?
I'm calling you from beautiful Orange County, California.
First and foremost, Evan, you were born and bred in Brooklyn, New York. So why don't you tell us about how that influenced your work ethic? Because you're one of the hardest working men in the business continuously. So why don't you tell us a little bit about growing up in Brooklyn and how, the whole Brooklyn culture influenced you as an artist?
Well, I mean, growing up in Brooklyn, if you hadn't grown up there, you really couldn't know what, I don't know what it was like growing up in Bogota. So, you never know how other people live. But for me, my dad was a really hard-working guy. He worked 4 jobs when I was growing up, I grew up in, Brooklyn is, lower middle class, and my parents both work really hard, and I probably get the work ethic from that, For me, music was always my dreams and my passion, and, I'm just a very motivated person who never let anybody... I always used other people's negativity and naysaying as my inspiration, and thank God my music of choice was really metal and, and hardcore and things like that, because, if I was trying to write, happy pop songs, I probably wouldn't have been any good at it because I had so much. I'm sorry, that's a joke. I'll fill in you later on.
Okay.
Joke. My wife just said something very funny. Anyway, I think having that thing wanting to make it out of the neighborhood and wanting to, survival instinct, I think was my first set of motivation. I wanted to express myself. I always felt like I had something to say, and I never really gave a fuck what anybody thought. And I think that's, I'm not the world's best singer. I'm not the world's best songwriter, but what I am is true to myself and passionate. And, I've never pulled any punches, and I've never, I've never made any of my creative decisions based on what I was worried about other people thinking,
Right, and on the EPK from ATTIKA 7, you say how Gasoline for Revenge is what really has kind of shaped up your musical career. So, and I think that's very, it makes total sense because you found an outlet that is a very positive outlet. While there are kids out there who, turn to other things like drugs and violence, I think it's very cool when you're able to find music as an art form and kind of, change your life from there.
That really, what you just said is exactly what, starting BIOHAZARD for me at in my teen, I was 18 or 19 when I started that band. The first incarnations of that band, I was really 16, 17, and, I was involved in drugs and violence and a lot of bad shit, and even worse shit than that, and music really saved my life. It's always been my medicine. It's always been my method, and to rediscover what I wanted to be doing musically, to kind of reset and realign myself, was such a positive thing for me that I feel reborn. And when I started playing with Rusty and got ATTIKA going, everything in my life changed. I started working out again like crazy, and if you see me, I probably look 10 years younger than I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm more focused, and that's what life is. Life is just moments. Life is just a series of moments, and I'm trying to make them the best moments I can make them. I'm trying to be, true to myself in every moment that I can.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about the transition from after you did Reborn and Defiance with BIOHAZARD and then joining Rusty with ATTIKA 7? Tell us a little bit about that transition, how it went for you.
Well, for me, BIOHAZARD was my thing. I founded the band, I started the band, I wrote the music, I wrote the lyrics, I named the albums, I did the tours. I always identified myself with it. But, you know, things change as you go on and things evolve, and sometimes things, you know, stray from your original vision so far that it no longer, it's not the same drug, it doesn't get you high anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Reborn Defiance was a really good record, you know? I mean, I think musically it was good, but I think lyrically, to be honest, it was a little bit uninspired, and I didn't know if I realized it while I was doing it. And, you know, the process of making that album was just, it was long and tedious. And in the end, it's not even going to come out in the USA, you know, so, and the way that went down for me was, like, I put a lot of time and energy into making that record, and I don't know what I was expecting. It's just, this is who I am, and this is what I do, you know? And when the opportunity came up to play with Rusty, it was just like, you know, for me, you know, I don't want to go on and on about Biohazard, you know? For me, it was like a long time coming. I really needed to change, and I don't know, you know, something that I thought about every day. I would love to just start something new. I would love to just, you know, let this thing that I created, you know, kind of be remembered with dignity.
Let's talk about Blood of My Enemies, which is coming out on July 31st. Tell us about the production process and the whole concept of the record.
Great. Well, you know, when I started playing with Rusty, I found something in my voice that I really always knew was there, but I didn't know how to get to. I think that's what I was trying to say, where I needed to change. I don't feel like I was reaching my full potential as a singer, you know? And we got in the studio with Mudrock, who had done, you know, brutally heavy records like Throwdown, but he'd done, you know, the biggest two Godsmack records and Avenged Sevenfold and other things that I really like a lot, that I think somewhere in there people find, you know, their way musically, and the process with Mudrock was so natural. And I've been in the studio with tons of huge producers over the years: Dave Jordan, Ed Stasium, Wharton Tears. I mean, I've worked with so many different people, and Toby Wright I had just finished working with, you know.
Right.
And Mudrock had a way of making it so easy, and not that we didn't work hard. Like, to me, a great producer helps an artist find his way effortlessly. You know, I didn't have to sing 5,000 takes of the same thing, you know. I mean, he would make adjustments in the studio with the compressors and the microphones to help me, like, feel what I was doing. Not just hear it, but feel it. And the writing process was really incredible. A lot of Rusty's lyrics that he you know, for people who don't know about Rusty, you know, Rusty served a long prison sentence, and Rusty wrote a lot of his lyrics. You know, he was in prison for 7 years, 2 years of which were in solitary confinement. And me, like, I'm a fucking big mouth. I want to put my 2 cents into everything, and I always want to change everybody's lyrics, you know. And some of his lyrics were so desperate and so hard and so real, and that I literally was just honored to be singing them. And I was able to channel a lot of his pain and a lot of my connection with him in the lyrics. And like, I felt like making the record was really connected he and I as friends, you know, beyond already us being best friends, you know. But the process with Mudrock, we went in with him and said, hey man, we want big metal guitar sounds, you know. We're not looking for anything alternative. We're looking for the crunch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We sat and analyzed our favorite guitar sounds from early Black Sabbath sounds to, you know, to vintage Dimebag Darrell sounds to, you know, just, you know, Metallica and things that we loved, and things that our record pays homage to, you know, and we kind of got in there, and I feel like, you know, we got the sounds we were after. This is the first time I finished a record in my life that I sat back and listened to it 100 times, and I don't have anything I want to say about it. I don't wish it was more this or less that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I said, I'm not the world's greatest singer, but this was the best I could have done on this record, and I'm really proud of it, you know. And, you know, song-wise and music-wise, like, it's kind of Blood of My Enemies is Pissed Off. And it helped, it was really therapeutic for me to write songs and sing songs that were really about venting and channeling, you know, the dark side of ourselves. And, like for me, you know, some of the songs, like the title track, Blood of My Enemies, you know, if you've ever been fucking fucked over by somebody before, which, I mean, it's life, everybody gets fucked over in some way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It would be hard to not be able to relate to these lyrics where you can really feel how people disappoint you and what you can do about it. Maybe you have two sets of options, like real life options and then hopes and dreams about, you know, what you wish you could do to those people, you know, and not have to pay the consequences for. But, you know, I've been screwed around a lot in my life and disappointed by a lot of people, and, you know, I think you can really hear that in that song, you know. I mean, Lockdown, Rusty wrote that in solitary confinement. You know, I've never been locked in a box for 2 years, and most people never will be. But the way the song is written, man, I get chills all over my body every time I sing it. I get tears in my eyes just talking about it, because Rusty's one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life, and the pain and the things he's endured, you know, makes him the guy he is. You know. You know, that's what we are as people, some of our experiences. You know, when I sing that song, you know, I'm helping my best friend have redemption, you know, going from being fucking framed by federal agents for something he didn't do all the way to, you know, I'm doing a fucking interview with Horns Up Rocks about our new heavy metal band, you know.